too much cool stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Especially
so many cool things out.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome back to the Caribou Media Outdoors podcast. With me for a second time is the one and only Joe Goubeaux. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. I'm dying to hear some stories from you that I know little bits about, but I don't have the whole story. But first, I thought we'd touch on your new bow. Tell us about the Arc.
Yeah. So I'm running I usually run those longer ones, the 33s or whatever.
Right.
So my Lift X was a 33. And I was like, man, I'd like to switch to a 29.5 for Whitetail. And this is back like early September. And so I was talking to Derek and Mathews and stuff, and he's like, well, dude, he's like, I'll send it out early. And I'm like, okay, what is it? Yeah. And so we start going into what it is, and I was like kind of surprised because I kept thinking like everybody does with every bow, and there's so many good bows, but like, how can anything get any better? You got to get lighter, faster, easier to tune, and like I feel like everybody's kind of doing that, or at least making strides in that direction. Like this was my first year. Well, it's everyone's first year with the limb shift. And it's incredible. I mean, so easy, so fast, so easy. And so I'm like, I don't know how anything gets like more ease of access. It's just easier to do. It was the fastest bow I had up to that point. So I'm like, I don't know how it gets any faster than that without sacrificing how it feels. And it feels great. Or aftershot feel, how it feels. And they basically covered all of that with the Arc. So I went and I did an Arc 30. Is what I went with this time around. And the 34 looks sick, but the more we'll get into the whole like conversion over to saddles and and all that whole thing, because I had kind of like, I don't know, I didn't like avoid the saddles. I just didn't commit to it. I'm like, oh, I really like the idea of that, and I never committed to it. But yeah, so Arc 30 in the new brown, which I've wanted a brown since, dude. I think it was like early 2000s Hoyt. I can't remember which one it was. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That Hoyt they had. And it was so cool. And I'm like, somebody needs to do like a chocolate brown. And he told me that. And I was like, no way. I was like, just go I don't even need to see it. Just put me down for the brown. So we got 30 in brown. I'm shooting 70-pound mods. I don't have it chronoed yet. My guess is somewhere probably to 310 for the arrow that I'm shooting. So it's gonna be a smoke show for sure, because I was getting 298 out of my Lift X at 30-inch mods, which were coming in just under 30 and a half at 70 pounds with a 440 or a 430 arrow. Okay. And then I went up to 444 because I just changed my lighted nock. So that was the 5.0 with the mini saber. 150 total weight up front. So pretty like modest arrow. And it was like, that was the lightest I had went. And it did fine. 61-yard shot on a bull elk, in and out, poked out on the other side. So I felt good about it. But this Arc, dude, I can't get over it. Like, so I was telling Stu, it's a bigger adjustment for me because I'm going from a 33 to a 30.
Right.
And I knew going into it, because my one, I won't call it like a complaint, but my one gripe, I guess, with the Mathews were the pass parallel. I didn't hate them, but I didn't like love them. I just kind of like, whatever. Yeah. I didn't like how the cam came down and in towards the riser. I didn't like how my brace height shrunk.
That was freaked me out when I'd see it roll around. Like, whoa.
Yeah. Plus, you got it's sitting on top of that axle, sitting on top of the limb, like exacerbates. But dude, I'm like, they'll probably never change the limb angle because the limb angle, it's going to take the sound out of it. It's going to add sound to it. It's going to add feel, like aftershot feel to it. And then he was saying, yeah, we changed the angle. I'm like, no way.
What? And they added that little weight into the cam too.
Yeah. So I want to say that's called, like, from back in the day, they had something called like the inertia cam or something. And it was like a weighted a back weighted cam like that too.
Right.
So it's pretty sick. Ironically, I was just paper tuning it because Stuart got on me for not paper tuning it yet. So it's downstairs, but yeah, the little weight's pretty cool. And then they've got like the riser design's completely different. They've got like two different, a chassis on the top and the bottom that's like
I love
bigger.
it. Like I was never huge into the straight up and straight down. I like to have a little bit of curve to it.
Yeah.
And they did that. I'm like, oh damn it.
It looks great. And it feels like for how much that thing should be thumping, and kicking those limbs just a little bit up, you don't feel anything. So that's pretty crazy. You got to gain in speed, which is awesome. But the thing that really is crazy to me is I always felt like probably because of that, brace height coming in, and like the bows felt like they wanted more so on the shorter bows, but they wanted to be like, you had to be cognizant of not twitching
your lefts and rights.
Yeah. And so that was just something like I felt like I had to be very like conscious of through shooting. And then once you got your reps in, you're comfortable with it, like I'm talking like platform change type stuff, then you're good. This thing is crazy. It aims or holds like better than my 33 does.
That's what everybody's saying. Yeah, it's like you can't describe it. It's just somehow it just aims like a dream, right?
It does. It just and it has to be that the riser geometry with that new pocket, where the limbs are, how the cam just comes straight back. It doesn't go down. It doesn't go out. So like if you're above parallel, you're going this way. When you draw, when you're below parallel, you're going this way. So it's just straight down. It's just compressing, which is great. And then it somehow feels like it sounds quieter than the Lift X. And I know like MFJJ did all the tests, and it came in quieter than anything on his decibel reader. But it definitely, like, it's a change in how much sound too. You can tell when you shoot it.
It's noticeable to the naked ear kind of
thing.
Yeah.
Because like both Stu and I were shooting it indoors, for the first setups and stuff. And it's like, this should be super loud, and it's not, which is awesome. So I'm pumped. Like, but the only reason I haven't like taken it out for hunting right now is I'm waiting on the site. So just waiting on a site. I've got a hodgepodge skeleton or a Frankenstein site that's on it right now. But yeah, so super impressed with it. I think it's a good bow. It's what they needed to do. And then also it's good stacked against everything that came out, because there's a lot of good stuff that came out. And I still think it holds its own even in that regard, which is cool.
Yeah. It's very, very nice. We can talk about this later, but are you waiting for the new 3VA to come out, or are you getting something different?
So no, we got sort of, I don't want to say peer pressured, but we got aligned with Mathews more this year. Gotcha. So it's going to be the Genuine sight from UV that will be running on it. The 3VA would be what I would be running, I think, or at least trying in my proof. Because zero issues, zero complaints with my proof. And I kind of like that vertical, and I'd like to see how that feels aiming on. Like, this is a great time of the year because you're, back into your season. Do some doe stuff with that sight and see how it aims on. Because I never thought of this, and Stu mentioned this to me. When you have a 3-pin horizontal, you can see through your gaps.
Yep.
But a 3-pin that's stacked on top of each other this way, you don't necessarily have that. So I would like to play with that and see like what that would be like. But I like the concept of almost like a single vertical post that has the ability to move in this 3-5. Yeah.
That was the one thing that they were missing, because you'd have to think, okay, 20, 35, and 50 or whatever your numbers were.
Yeah, on a fixed type situation.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, as long as you can remember your numbers, you'd be fine. But everybody loves the old 20, 30, 40 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So
or 25, or
25, or 25. Yeah.
Yeah, and with these things, man, I mean, with speeds, if you're in and around 300, you're 20, 25, and 30 are basically the same. I mean, it might be a couple inches at 35, which is wild.
Yeah, I was with the Prime. I was shooting the form, and I got the performance mods on there, and I got a 511 grain arrow up to 307 feet per second, like screaming. And I was like,
yeah, that's wild.
This is ridiculous.
How does it feel? Pretty decent, or?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like
Yeah.
you were saying with the arc pointing and like right on target, this thing doesn't even move.
Yeah.
Like it's wild. I can't.
I've
Every
heard
year
that.
it's like, how are they going to do it, or like how are any of them going to change anything? And then they do it. You're like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean,
crazy.
I guess, yeah, they have to change, have to keep producing good stuff.
But this was definitely a good year. Like everybody seemed to come out with something substantial for the most part, which was cool to see.
Yeah, and Hoyt got their tuning system, and which is huge.
Yep. And some new colors.
Yeah.
I
like the tannish one.
Sands something.
That's it.
Yeah. The red one, it almost feels like you'd need to live like in Arizona or something to really get the benefit out of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like it. I want to like it, and I don't.
It kind of changes in the lighting. Like I've seen it in a couple of different.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That's kind of like how bourbon was. Like bourbon would trick me a lot. Like I'd look at bourbon and go like, "Oh, that's sick," and then I'd see it, and I don't know if it was like people were editing it to make it look sick, or it was sick and they were editing it to look not sick. But like,
yeah,
it was that was a tricky one for me.
And you guys went down to South Dakota again?
Yeah, we did South Dakota. What was that? First week of September, and that was good. It was good. It was a grind, like mule deer can be, and it definitely was. And we spent the first couple of days like targeting these straight up ancient deer, and I think that was part of the struggle, which is fun. It's fun. It's fun until it's not. If you get ghosted on the fifth day, you're like, what's going on?
But, can we do something now?
Yeah, like the whole like, well, we why those deer don't, not all the deer get that big kind of thing. But but no, super. It's always fun there. Got to see stuff. My big thing there was like I guess big like responsibility there was like filming and really making sure we got good footage and stuff. And so I got what Stu has from start to finish is all on film, which is awesome. That's beauty. We could say up to that point we didn't have. So that at least was like check. That was a win in that category. But if you ask Stu or you ask me, we'll both be like nitpicking, the hunt or nitpicking this and that. But that's just how it's how it is.
But last year he didn't get shoot. Did he shoot one last year too?
Yeah, we doubled up on
on
the 11th. We doubled up. Yeah. And then
it was like the
this
last
year
day.
I didn't punch a tag.
Okay.
And he did on the last day. And then it was like me and him were like, yeah, no, good. Because he was like, oh, I shouldn't have shot that. I feel like it was not the class of deer that I normally shoot. And I'm like, no, man, like it's great. You eat the meat. Mm-hmm. We needed a full story. We have a full story to tell. Right. And if you didn't want to, you wouldn't have, is how I look at it. Like you would have just passed, no big deal. So I was pumped, that we were able to get it done. Cause it's not, to do it in 5 days,
you gotta be quick.
Or no outfit is tough. 5 days is tough.
Yeah. You gotta be moving.
Yeah. Plus especially you got weather, you got everything else. So, but yeah, South Dakota. And then I was back home for like 4 days or something, 3 days.
Then was it New Mexico after that?
Yeah, and then I flew. I don't know how I talked my wife into that one. And then I flew to New Mexico, and I was there. The good thing there, so that was another thing. So those guys, love those guys, have been with that outfit for 3-4 years. Love those guys. Like all three of my bulls are with those guys, and love those dudes. And my tag was for a unit I wasn't familiar with. So it was one of those things like, cool, love it. We're just going to have to move with the punches. I'm not sure what this looks like. It's all public land, so I don't know what it looks like in terms of pressure. I don't even know what it looks like in terms of like herds and class of bull or anything. So we're kind of, me and Vince, we were going into it sort of like, all right, we'll see. Because even Vince, who lives there and stuff, he's like, I don't really do too much in this unit, so we're just going to have to play it by ear. And it was like the first morning, dude, we're driving in and I'm looking and I'm going, oh my God, there were trucks and trailers at every single trailhead. And I'm like, yeah,
turn around.
Yeah. I'm like, this is awful. So we got in there pretty deep to where that stuff starts thinning out, but way more than I was used to seeing. I was used to seeing people, but not like that.
Yeah.
And then we spent the first morning, gosh, we put some decent miles in that first morning. I'm trying to remember what my Garmin said. And not a single bugle, nothing. And we're like, all right, well, he's like, let's go check. He's got 2 water holes and a wallow. Let's go check them. Check the cameras, see what came on. And even that was tough. You could see track. We go to pull the camera card. His card reader doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
those things are those things are unreliable.
Yeah. So
no problem.
The first hole, it was like, well, all right, whatever. And I don't know why I didn't think of this. I have a camera with me. So I'm like, is it SD?
Oh, yeah.
SD? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, let's throw it in the camera.
Yeah.
So by the second hole, we threw in my camera, and there had been a bunch of cows there, like throughout like the last couple of days. And I'm like, cool. If it hasn't kicked off yet, maybe it'll be on some cows or whatever. So let's sit. So I think we got there at like 10 a.m.
So what week in September was this?
This was the
mid or end or beginning? Second. Okay.
Second week. Yeah. So that's second week archery in New Mexico. Is first week is first, second is second. I think there's a break, and then there's another week or something like that. And then it goes like muzzle loader. There might be 2 weeks, and then it goes muzzle loader after that. But yeah, so I'm second week of September, and we've done it the first week, and we've done it the second, and the second seems to be like more conservative, I'll say.
Later the better. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'll be lucky because if it's early, I don't know. I guess the one time we went the first week, it was they just weren't firing off.
Yeah.
So, which isn't bad because then you're gonna have bulls come in silent, and you might get more opportunity. I don't know, but
yeah.
So
you just don't expect to hear massive bugle from that. I think that's a misconception. A lot of people, like, I'm no expert. I've only been once, but when I went out to BC to go, it was the first week of September, and I maybe heard one complete bugle cadence. Otherwise, it was just little fractions of it or nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody wants to stand on a rock and just give it on the bugle too. It's like, you might not hear that.
No,
right?
No. There was some guy, some outfitter in New Mexico. I think he was the southern part of the state, and he said that same thing to my father-in-law. He's like, if you want the romance of elk hunting, second, third, whatever. If you want to get in on, obviously in the same way with whitetail, same with anything. The earlier you go, the less pressure. It might be a little bit different situation. So, but yeah, the bugling's cool. I mean, you're able to go on game plans. Honestly, I would take whatever gives me the most opportunity on elk. Like if I can see more elk or I'm in more elk, if they're quiet or not, I like the bugling, but also, I'd
like to see them.
Yeah, I'd like to be in them. So
I'd rather see them than hear them. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. I think, and I say that saying because it's like maybe after the first time, and then you're like, okay, for sure, let's get in them thick rather than listening to them, because it can be discouraging too hearing them, because that carries like crazy. It'll carry across canyons and so dude, we set up on water, like I think it was 10 o'clock with the basically assumption we were going to sit there from 10 a.m. to dark. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. Still hot enough to be annoying. And so we're set up. I'm like I've got like my pack behind me. I'm like laying on my pack. He's set up. We kind of got this nice little section of water. We're on a high spot. And then all of a sudden, this calf comes trailing down this path, and he jumps in the water, and a cow jumps in the water behind him. And then, I don't know, it wasn't shortly after that, this nice little 6x comes walking in. He's walking behind him, but he stops because it was like to our left was the trail they were coming down. And there was like an opening before you get to water, but the water drops down. So if you almost have to stop him before water. If you stop them in the water. Because of the grade, you wouldn't have a shot. There was like junk in your way and stuff. But if they came around the other side of the water, you'd have a shot a little bit longer. And if they came on your right side, you'd have a nice, easy quartering away shot, which of course they never
do that.
No. So he comes in, he stops, he gets hung up, and this cow is like staring right at me.
Oh.
And I'm like, and I know I got the sun through the tops of the trees. My face is glowing, even though I have a hat and a hood and everything. And so I don't move. And she doesn't like it. She jumps out of the water. The calf jumps out of the water. And the bull, you could tell he looked pissed because it was hot. He wanted to drink. So he like kind of haphazardly follows her, and they go around and they drop down. And they probably didn't go too far, but they're out of sight. And I'm like, oh, they'll probably come back. And it was like, that was pretty early. I think it was like 2 or 2:30. And it wasn't even an hour later, out of the same direction, I hear a huge snap, like big old deadfall snap, like something's running. And so I scoot down to the one little pocket of shade I have the bow ready. And from my left comes a bull barreling down. It was a 6x5 that I ended up shooting. And so I draw, and my buddy stops him. He cow calls and stops him right where he needs to be stopped. 50-yard shot to my left. I put it on him, and I'm like, what do you think? Because I don't know. I'm like, are we meeting minimums here? Are we not? Like, because I want to know, like, is he a shooter? And he didn't say no. He said, up to you. And I just let it break. Okay, there we go. We were all ready to go. We're settled in. And I literally airmailed it over the top of this thing's back, like cut the hair off the top of his back. And when the arrow released, I knew it was a miss. I was like, so I pulled an arrow. I already pulled one off my quiver, was loading it. The bull was coming across the outside edge. It was like the dam, and he ran across and then stopped and turned to go back up the road. And Vince cow called on him, and he stopped broadside. And I said, how far? I didn't even look at him. I go, how far? He's like 61. I dialed directly to 61, drew back, put it on him. And it was a good 5-second shot cadence. Bop. And this thing just went, shoom, punched his heart out. He went, it was great. It was incredible. Like, it was far enough to where you could see it and like wait for impact, and then smash. And the elk went up to the logging road and cut diagonal, which I was surprised, up a ridge basically. And so that was that. And so that was awesome. But
what were you using for that? Was it your 1.75 hybrids, or?
It was the 1.75 hybrid. And I don't love the hybrid. I was just talking to Easton about it. And I know a lot of people like have had a lot of good luck with them and stuff. And I'm pretty sure it's in this quiver right here. I went back to the regular.
Okay.
That's a field point. I went back to the regulars, just the regular 2-blade. Just because, my own experience with it, that bull was barnyard broadside. Couldn't even see his offside leg. That completely square to me. And that arrow went in at heart level, right behind the shoulder, and it came out like in front of his hips, basically guts.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and I know, bang bong. And I know a lot can happen with, so I don't want to blame the broadhead or anything.
No.
A lot can happen, but, whether he was alert, he could have been alert. He just heard 5 seconds ago.
Right.
He's looking for a cow. He doesn't see a cow. And then he gets smashed. Like, he could have gotten hit and turned, something could have happened. But I've shot, with the regulars, elk, mule deer, whitetail, whatever, and I've had access and I've had no problems. So I just was like, you know what? We'll just not use those and leave it at that. Yeah. I know a lot of people have had a lot of really good experience with them. I just don't. To me, I didn't really see the benefit outside of like hopefully better blood, and I never got better blood trail out of those hybrids than I did. I never had a complaint about blood trail on my regular 2-blades.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was the cut's going to be like a bayonet, so it won't close. So you should hopefully get a better blood trail from it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess
how far did he go?
he went like 400 yards up.
Whoa! Shit! We're hiking.
He was crazy. And I talked to somebody. I talked to somebody from Utah, and they said, "Dude, yeah, most people would think they get hit and they're gonna drop elevation."
Yeah,
go low. And he goes,
go to what? Yeah.
In more times than not, in his experience, elk will get hit, and their instinct is, I need to get above the threat, and they go sky high. And he did. He went
literally.
He went as high as he could go. I mean, he was going through, like, he was going over, like, where he was at, there was deadfall everywhere. So like packing him out was super fun. Like it must have been crazy energy expenditure for him to go straight up, and then he just crashed on some deadfall.
Wow.
But you would think, like, there's no way he's going that far.
Yeah, not with oh geez.
Not like that. And because I looked at Vince, I'm like, am I misremembering? He goes, no. He's like, no, you destroyed that thing. But when we got to him, it was even weirder. Like, entrance was where entrance was, but exit doesn't make any sense. And so I'm still don't know what.
Not sold on them.
Yeah, it's like I just went back to the 2 blades and called it a day. But I also watched Stu, last season, not this past one, shoot his mule deer, and that was a quartering away, and it looked like you shot it with a gun on the inside.
Yeah.
So maybe it is a broadside argument on round bone at that level, and it just glanced off or something.
So many variables you can't put.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna have a different experience, right? Depending
on
the circumstances. But yeah, what pack were you using to haul it out?
So that was oh my gosh, it was an old pack that what's it called? Stu gave me. It's like a small day pack with a meat shelf. It was from Kifaru, and I had it on my Arc.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not. Oh, man, I can't remember the name of it. It's just a small day pack with a meat shelf. It was perfect. It was perfect for what it was, for what I needed. And man, what a difference between that. I think 2 years ago, I packed an elk out. I packed that elk out with my shape charge.
Oh, Jesus.
And they go, that's what it's for. And I was like, yeah.
I know.
I could tell pretty quickly.
Yeah. Wow.
Cool. So that was it.
So how did your clothing changes work from New Mexico to being at home? Do you find you have to do a lot of layering, a lot of taking off with the Born Primitive stuff?
Yeah. So shoot, man, I think I basically only wore this year either the Born Primitive lights pants, the Frontiers.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Out in South Dakota. I actually wore them in New Mexico, and it was the first time I did that because typically I wear heavies out there. And I wore them and they did fine. And then here, I think I wore heavy pants, and that's it. Everything else, I wore all my Sika stuff, both there and here. So New Mexico, South Dakota, and here for all my tops, my jackets, all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
So kind of turn the focus back to all the Sika stuff that I had run in the past.
Nice.
Which was probably another change, honestly, this year.
And you also picked up a trad bow.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. So between figuring out what I was going to shoot after my RX-8 to the Lift X, I was like, oh, well, I want to keep shooting. I don't know what I'm going to be shooting. And so why not go that route? So Stu got me started on that route, which is a whole other rabbit hole. to go down. But yeah, Black Widow, they make
nice,
great stuff. You can get whatever you want. Like,
you sure can. Yeah,
they'll build it up for you. They'll do the whole thing, and really like good guys and great company, great product. So yeah, I'm still trying. I would love, the idea was focus the buck stuff, do, hunt seriously, and then start working in your trad stuff for like doe, because I got to take a certain amount of doe off that property, and like,
okay.
So I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. And then I never really got around to it. And I don't know what, I also had never really had shoulder problems. And I was also having like AC joint issues throughout the off season into the new year, like the new season. And I think that kind of dissuaded me from it, because it's a whole different, process and how it loads, and it definitely stacks.
And you're definitely holding on to it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I probably went a little heavier than I should on those limbs. So that was probably part of it to learn. So then I got a Satori that was lighter on purpose, so that I could try to, work my way back to that.
It's always a student, never a master.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And I think it's really cool to have like that bow. You don't really need anything. You have your finger taps and your arrows, and you're good to go.
You're good to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah.
I'll circle back to it at some point. I keep seeing Dave with his, and he's even got one that's like from the 70s that he found online. And he's trying to retire it. Like, he's going to shoot something with it. Yeah. And apparently I think the guy who owned it before him had like put a date, etched in a date every time he shot something.
Oh, so
he's going to do like a whole story with that.
That's really cool.
Hang it up for the last time kind of thing. I think that's cool. Yeah. It's definitely a whole nother animal for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So the vlogging, I love it. I was getting caught up. I was getting caught up on the ones you guys put out. You're telling a pretty cool story. What do you want to get into that a bit?
Yeah. So that was the thing, like, from South Dakota, I guess, and just 25 in general, was like way more video. And it's weird, because like when I started doing stuff, it's like almost 4 years now, that stuff was all supposed to be, it was supposed to be YouTube. The goal was never like an Instagram presence or anything like that. And it just happened to be that Instagram at the time was prioritizing video, and video took off. And then, so my time went to the Instagram building instead of the vlog type stuff on YouTube. But that was the goal, was to do that kind of stuff. So it's kind of funny, like years later, we're coming full circle to it. So Stu and I had tossed around like for over a year now. We're like, man, we really need to join, my LLC and his LLC into a media collective and get a company out there. And we do so many things together anyway. It's like, just made sense. So we got that all solidified, like just before the season started, like just before Whitetail started, got all the like graphics and brand work and all that stuff done. With the idea that eventually, there will be like some type of merch coming off of that is either like a subcategory of the collective or whatever. And then all of our bids for 26 and stuff are going out as the Zero Media Collective instead of my independent, his independent kind of thing, which is cool. So with that came all the video stuff. And so South Dakota, we did that. I really wanted him. I was trying to incentivize him to come to New Mexico, because that would, we didn't know it at the time, but would have only cost him a day of work. I tagged out the first afternoon. So that was sweet. But I would have loved to get that on video and have that whole story told, at least 1 day's worth of video, I guess, but it would have been cool. So the Whitetail thing is something that me and him had done for now two of the 3 years that he's been coming here. So last year was the start of it. I've got a lot of really cool footage for like the 1 day that he was able to sit in the tree with me before I like went to the hospital.
Yeah, you had pneumonia. Was it pneumonia?
Yeah, I had double pneumonia.
Yeah, double pneumonia.
Pneumonia in both my lungs, and I had the infection was outside my left side too. So it was like, God. I was trashed for some reason. It was awful, dude. It was awful. And And that's kind of where I think, like I was telling you before, like this whole, like my obsession with whitetail in this season, I was just like one track mind with it because I got pulled out of. So I sat with him. I passed on this buck that I wanted to grow. He's a mainframe 10 with a kicker off his G2. He was awesome. I don't know anybody other than like people that just go like flat out, I'm not going to shoot a 4-year-old or something like that would have passed on that deer. And we together made the decision to just film the deer and not shoot him. So I didn't shoot him because he made the grow list, not the hit list in September of that year. And we stuck to it. If Stu wasn't in the tree with me, I'd have been a deer for sure.
Hey, watch this.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like I told him, I said, hey man, like I had my hand on my bow, release on my hand, and I was like, you're gonna have to tell me not to shoot this buck.
I'm squeezing the trigger.
Yeah, because he was feeding in on this nice little clover mini plot, feeding in at 20 yards, just taking his time, leg forward 100 times broadside or quartering away. It was hard to pass up, but we passed it up. And then the very next morning I woke up, I think my fever was like 104 point something. And I'm like, hey man, fly home. Don't get whatever this is. I don't know what this is.
Get out of here.
Get out of the house. Yeah. And so he did. He changed his flight and he flew home. And then it just got progressively worse for me. Like it was crazy. It even took me out of work, which was nuts.
Oh yeah, so, I've had it. I don't think I have double, but I've had it before, and it's just
bad.
So like you're just knocked out, no energy,
coughing
up all kinds of crap. Yeah, it's gross.
It's nasty, dude. And so that was like the end of the season. So, and I'm sitting there watching, however many reveal cameras go off, and I'm seeing new bucks coming in that are cruising around looking for does because we have a healthy doe population. It's peak rut, and I know I can't get out there, and it was tough. It was like that was seriously tough. Like I was like couldn't believe how hard it was, and it sounds like dramatic even thinking back to it, but yeah, I was super ticked about that, and I had a huge chip on my shoulder. So, like we were talking about, I felt like I was present in the Western hunts, and I was there and I was doing the thing, but I was still thinking about like, why is my hit list, at this amount instead of this amount like it was last year? Or why am I not seeing the bucks I'm seeing? And like trying to like e-scout, trying to scout on the road, what competitive crop and ag is not cut and is still standing? And why am I not seeing the deer come through and travel back in? Because yeah, we don't have deer summer there. I mean, you'll have a couple resident mature bucks, which is fine, typical for the acreage. But then I get bucks coming in, and why are those bucks not coming in? And why is this different than last year or the year before that? Or is it weather related? Is it competitive crop? I don't know. So I was just like very, very obsessive with it, more so than even the year before. And then, even when I was in like South Dakota, I was like, I got one deer, man. I got one deer that's worth putting a mark on, and that's it. New Mexico, same thing. New Mexico was when the deer that I targeted, Max, first showed up. So I didn't have him on the farm till mid-September, or at least he didn't show himself until mid-September. He seems very familiar with the farm. He hasn't left the farm to go rut. So it seems like he's very much the dominant, 5.5-year-old, maybe 6. He seems freakishly smart to be 5. But body and mass and spread and stuff, he seems like he's got to be at least in that category. So so that was the goal, get on him basically. So I knew Stu was coming. He was coming to aim around like the Halloween kind of pre-rut time here. Like we've had success in the past at that time frame, and it was dead. So the farm is it's like an upper farm and a lower farm it's contiguous land, but they were bought separate times and you can access them, but they're just like one's basically high and one's basically low. He likes to hunt in the lower. He's had a lot of success in the lower. And this buck, I'm very, very familiar with the lower, and this buck in particular, I started closing in on him, and he was more in the upper, like northwest quadrant of the farm, and he was very much utilizing like ridge systems and stuff to traverse basically between bedding and food and stuff. So so I was like, well, I'm kind of out of my comfort zone there, but I'll go there. And our experiences were different, like on the same days. So like the very first day I picked him up from the airport, I wasn't planning on hunting at all. So I was like, well, I don't know what my play is going to be. I know what the wind is. I'm going to hang my saddle and I'm going to get some good B-roll. I'll get some small bucks coming through and blah, blah, blah. And I'll just commit to the saddle. We'll see what happens. And so I threw the latitude stuff up and I didn't, when you cam down like a tree stand, you can use the seat to like help cam it down.
Yep.
Well, I was like, well, what am I supposed to do if there's no seat? And I didn't think about it until I got up there and I'm like, and I'd never hung a saddle platform. And I'm like, I don't know. And I like kind of hit it and I'm like, good enough, got it down, got it tight. Yeah. It seemed fine, and then
it'll be fine.
I got in there and it was like a little like wiggly, but not like crazy. And I'm like, oh, it should be good. And so I clipped, my tether on, took my alignment off. I'm good. I'm under tension. I feel fine. And then, you start seeing small stuff. You start seeing does. And then one doe that must have been hot or just about, because there was like there's a fork horn, a small 6. And then I turn around and there's this buck that I got one picture of, super mature buck, kind of like one of those like bully bucks that you probably should get rid of that has junk genetics. He was an 8. He was like narrow and super tall and super heavy with good brows. So he wasn't by any stretch like a bad deer. He was a cool deer. Well, as soon as I see these other bucks having a commotion behind, like 70 yards behind me, he's now pushing them off and he's chasing this doe. And so I grunt at the tree because they're behind me. And I don't know how to like go over the bridge. I don't know how to like turn around on the platform. So I'm just hoping I can get him to come this way. And I grunt, the doe kind of J hooks in and she's bringing him and he's coming quick. And I'm like, oh. So I like grab my bow and like lift over. And as I'm lifting over, I favored my left foot on the left side of the platform and the platform tipped.
Whoop.
And I was like, oh, and then
shit.
I leveled it back out and they didn't see because he was like,
nice.
Him and the 2 other bucks were grunting. So everyone's like, there's a bunch of commotion, a bunch of noise going on. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm, and there's probably a better way to do this, but like I have my bridge this way and I'm hanging off the tree and I'm just like, whatever,
whatever works.
Whatever's I'm sure this is not how it's supposed to look. And, went to full draw and I knew she had come through at like 32 yards. I was Matt. He didn't hear me. Matt. And on the third one, he stopped just long enough to get a shot to break. And I hit him heart level, but I hit him like maybe 2 inches back. So I'm lungs, probably for sure liver.
Okay.
So he mule kicks. He goes like 15 yards and stops. But he's between, there's timber between us and brush. I can see him, but I can't shoot him again. And he's standing there. And I pull the binos up and he's bleeding. I can see he's dumping. I'm like, tip over?
He's wondering what the hell just happened.
Yeah, like tip over. He doesn't know what's going on. And he was like on her, like if this is her back end, he's right here. So he's coming with her. So I got him to stop and then he gets smoked. So he's like, he's all about this doe.
Yeah.
She goes to the power line, feeds on the power line. He stands there for like 5, 6, 7 minutes watching her. Then he trots across the power line and follows her into bedding. The other bucks had gone with them. They all went into bedding. So they had scattered on the shot. Doe stayed and ate. He stayed and watched. They all went into bedding. They all came out except for him. And I'm like, all right, that's great. Good. He went and bedded. But we're going to give him time. So I texted Stu and told him, hey, man, I shot Hightower. I'm going to assume it's a liver shot. When you come here, I'll just look at the arrow. I'll show you where he stopped and let's leave. And that's what we did. And for sure, liver blood, but there's a good amount of it for liver. I was like, oh,
I really want to go.
I kind of want to go in.
Yeah,
I definitely did. But I've done that before. I've done that before on whitetail. And I know better than I bumped a deer before. And luckily we found him. But I've done that where they're only 80 yards. He's 60 yards away. And so they don't feel good. He would have bedded down. I am convinced he'd have bedded down right there if that doe wasn't pulling him.
Right.
So
wouldn't that been nice?
Oh, it'd been great. I would have had a hard time getting out though. I think I would have kicked him up trying to get out of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I could have left the whole set there and just very quietly like climbed down and just walked out the other way. But it was pretty close.
Yeah.
He would have heard me like for sure, at least walking out. I don't know.
You just have to sleep in the saddle.
That's it. Just comfortable. Just sit back. Give yourself more bridge and extend it out. Well,
so how did you find? Sorry.
Yeah.
Before you go, how did you find the saddle from that? So that was your first. Was that your first time in it?
That was my very first time in it. So obviously, I'm like obsessed with it. I'm like, this is amazing.
This is awesome.
I have to attribute seeing a mature buck just because I'm in a saddle. Yeah.
And you can get that huge amount of room around the tree to shoot from.
Yeah, you can. And I like personally being behind it. I love being behind it. I like that a lot.
Use it as cover. I always thought that you're going to be bouncing around too much up there.
Yeah.
Is it like, why are these things taking off so popular? Like you're almost moving too much up there, but they work.
And I've heard that too. Like even Stu was like, man, I don't know. I still like my stand because I feel like it makes me sit still. But for me, you know, me and my sister, we used to rock climb all the time. So like being on a line under tension just like feels right.
Yeah.
And I feel like, okay, it's almost like I'm like coming down off of the top of something. I can just sit. I can just tuck my knees and sit.
Yep.
And now I feel like I'm fidgeting less. You got to everything's got to be like perfect. Like I run like my top stick, I run at platform level 90 degrees off the left side. And I kind of like when you're driving, you know, you just put your left foot out. That's how I feel. Like I just feel comfortable. I don't move and it feels good. But like from the ground, like my profile is way smaller.
Yeah.
So I do really like it, but it takes some adjustment too. Like my IT bands felt like they were getting tight after those sits, and
yeah, you get a real leg workout.
Yeah, you gotta figure out what, and also like figuring out like your tether. If your tether's left, you're going to be naturally pulling left of center. And so yeah, it takes I think a little bit more. Well, the same amount of setup. You just got to understand how you're using it.
Right.
With where you think they're going to come. But for me, every single time I went full draw on a buck, it was off my weak side. So I got to figure out better setups. Like I need to set up a little bit smarter, I think, or it's just rut madness and they're coming up different trails or they're going off trails or whatever. But
yeah.
But I love it. I like that I can take, you know, like here's 3 sticks. I don't know what 3 sticks weighs, but I can take 3 sticks and it's nothing, you know.
Yes.
Nothing to take that. One of those has an 8er, or even my Lone Wolf like V2 doubles as I was running all season. Like you could take 4 of those and 2 of them with 8ers, and I'm at probably 22 feet to the top of the, you know, top stick, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But no, I really like it. I really, really like it. Yeah.
Cool. So they like 3 or 4 of them went in, and
and everybody but
him came out.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like, all right, well, we'll back out, give him some time. The problem was there was a crazy storm that it rained for like 27 hours straight.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we went back the next morning, all that blood where he was sitting, and I'm talking like good puddles of blood. There was 2 where he stood, where he went and bled and took a step and bled. And dude, that was gone. And so I knew, okay, he's back in this, we call it the sanctuary bedding, and it's a perimeter, it's a river, and it's a big drop off to the river, like 20 feet to the river.
Oh wow, okay.
So, but there's these little benches and stuff that they bed in, and it's all grown up. It's super thick briars and stuff. I went and I was bleeding from my ears and stuff. We went and looked for him, and we spent the whole day in the rain. It was like 40 degrees and raining. We spent the whole day looking for him, and I couldn't find anything in there. Super thick, and you're just basically gritting, hoping you find him. So
yeah,
my goal is, once I know that like my father-in-law is done on the farm and stuff, I'll go in there, because I don't like to go in there.
Yeah, you don't want to screw anything up for anybody.
No,
else.
And it is legit primary bedding. Like there's no stands in there. There's no pressure. It's surrounded on 3 sides.
Yeah.
So it's primo bedding. So I don't want to go in there until I know. So I'm going to go in and, recover him and then get a dead head tag for him and stuff. That's my goal. So that hopefully, I can put that to bed, because that sucks. Because I know he was smoked. I know he was hurting. I know he lost good blood. And I know if the rain wasn't there, we would have found him.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was day one. And Stu didn't see anything. Day two, Stu didn't see anything. And that's where these episodes you're talking about are. And it's mostly like Stu's story that I was filming. And then basically wasn't even a week after he left is when I shot my buck. So if he was just, 5 days later, he would have been there with me on that big snow and everything. And that in and of itself was crazy, just because of how it worked out was insane. So, you're coming off of a season where you get pulled out of the rut, you're sick, then you liver shoot a deer that you would have been more than happy with, punching your tag, because we're a one tag, we're a 1 buck state, but I'm more than happy with that buck, more than happy. Could have sat more sits with Stu, kind of thing. And, he's gone now. We got his buck. I want him to tell you that story.
Oh yeah. Yep. For sure.
And then, I'm sitting and I'm like, gonna go to work. It's like Sunday or Monday or something. I can't remember. The snow was Monday or Tuesday or both days. And my father-in-law was like, you should definitely hunt with me. Like, I'm going to go out there Monday or whatever. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'll have to call off. So I called off, and I get in there. I'm up and I'm getting ready to go. All my stuff's packed in the truck. And he texts me and he's like, oh, I have an appointment for, I don't know what his foot or something, like a pain management. And I was like, oh, don't worry about it, dude. I'll see you in the afternoon. I'll just go sit. So I'm like, all right, you're going to be by yourself. And I had hung a saddle the night before after work. I had hung my platform for the wind switch in the afternoon of that day.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, where am I going to go in the morning? He's not here. Where he was going to sit was going to dictate where I was going to sit. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll just sit. There's the high field. There's a low thistle bedding. So I'm like, I'll go sit in the middle of the timber on the ridge so I can see the field. My wind will be blown to the corner. So anything coming in front of me will be fine. Anything coming from my right will be fine. And I'll be able to watch the thistle. So I get in there in the dark. I get set up. And I can see all the way down the lower. And I saw a coyote eating a groundhog. Then I saw 3 more coyotes. I'm like, wow, we got a coyote problem. Then I saw 2 doe walking along the river, the other side of the river. And I'm like, interesting. And then in that same pinch, but coming the opposite way, was a buck, a good buck. I could see, I'm like, big body, good mass. So I pull him up in the glass. I'm like, that's a shooter for sure. I don't know who he is. Like, I don't have any pictures of the deer because I know exactly what's there. I know what's been there and what isn't. And I'm like, I don't know who this deer is. So he comes working his way in. I'm not going to grunt at him. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to wait, see what his path is, because his nose is down. He's on something. So he comes through. He crosses a little creek. I can hear him sloshing. I can't see him because it's just crazy brush. And there's one gap. I range the gap. It's 41 yards, but it's probably, so I'm at a 25-foot platform, and then it's a ravine. So it's probably like pretty dang close to 40 feet of cut. And so I'm like, I don't know. I don't like that. That angle seems tough. So I draw. He walks into the opening, and he's quartering away for like a millisecond, and then he's just butt to me. So I let down. His nose is down. He's grunting, and he goes up. The ravine is like, from where he was at to where he stopped on the bench has got to be 30 feet. And he just straight lined up it. Like, he didn't side hill it. He just went straight up and stopped, and he's sniffing.
Like a mountain road.
I'm like, he's gone. He's going to leave. He's at 60 some yards already. He's going that way. He's gone. So I take the grunt tube and I just give him like a light grunt, and he acts like he doesn't hear it. But I'm like, there's zero chance you didn't hear that.
I know you heard that.
Yeah. But he didn't flinch, stop, nothing. He keeps working away. So I give him a super low, like aggressive growl, like a good, like 4-second growl. Yeah, and he just turns straight looks, pins me. And I'm like, he probably saw me.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
just want to take a quick break to talk to you about a couple of things that I've been using that I think might benefit you. One is this Numa Outdoors gear. This is in their Kaza OV pattern, which is great whitetail pattern when you're up in a tree in the fall and late season. They also have a Kaza pattern which has more green in it, which is good for spring through to the fall. Numa has given me a code to give to you of Caribou Media 20, which will save you 20% at checkout. Another product here that I've been using for years now is the Bulldog targets. This is a Canadian made target. They're made in Manitoba. They have a lifetime warranty. I've used that warranty twice now on a couple of my larger targets that are outside. It's very simple, very easy. These targets are 2-finger removal every single time, which is incredible. Field point only target. Bulldog's been gracious enough to give me a 20% discount code to give to you at checkout. Use code BD20-Caribou-Media. That'll save you 20% on these awesome targets. Now back to the show.
And all of a sudden, before I could even do anything, he sprints in a straight line on that bench to me. Sprints at a straight line. And I almost dropped my grunt tube. I was like, oh. I grabbed my bow. I was like, all right, got my bow. And then he comes into about 40, cuts into the field edge, and is looking for a deer. It's probably 135 yards by 200 yards field. And he's looking for another deer, doesn't see another deer. So now he's walking the crop edge, which is the further edge to the timber edge. And he's walking to me. And so I have 3 distinct windows. One is game over because of my scent. And the two are doable, but I don't have time to range it. He's on a clip. So I'm like looking at it and I'm like, okay, 35 yards. And I don't know if it was because I was in the timber and it's a pretty big field and it was completely white from snow and it just looked further than it was, but it was only like 24 yards. So I'm shooting thinking it's like 35, 36. I'm shooting my 40 pin under his belly, thinking I'm going to drop in.
Frontal shot?
No. So he would have been quarter towards.
Okay.
Just very slight. And then as he goes to the second window, he'd be more like broadside, very, very minuscule quarter towards.
Okay.
Very minuscule, like that.
Right.
So first window, Matt, he doesn't stop. Second window, Matt, he stops. And I shoot left and right, primo, super high.
Oh,
like I was shocked. I'm shocked he didn't drop from a spinal. Like that's how high. And I'm thinking like, but he took off bad out of hell, very much akin to like him getting his lungs clipped. And I'm like, okay. And he goes right, or he goes left, right, and he goes into the woods and down into the swamp. I can see him come down. I'm like, maybe he crashed, but it was high. So I'm immediately going like, what is going on right now? Like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
And I ranged where I saw the arrow, and I'm like, it's 24 yards. Like that's why you hit 10 inches high. Is you're 10 yards off, dude. Like, of course you're gonna be that high. So I'm like, I'm gonna wait 30 minutes. If I clipped his lungs, that's all he's gonna need. He's gonna be done right there. So I waited just about 30 minutes. More fresh powder comes down, and I'm like, no. So I'm packing my stuff. I'm trying to get down. I get down. I go to where he got shot. I don't see it. I don't see blood. I'm like, this is not good because I should be seeing light red blood on white snow. Easy.
Right.
So then I kind of look the direction that he went, but I can see where he kicked the snow off all the brassicas. So I make a straight line to that. I pick up a couple spots of blood, and it was light red. It looked really good. It was like pink, basically. And I'm like, this is great. Get to the road. I don't see any indicators. I don't see any hoof track. I don't see any dirt kicked across. I'm like, where did he go? Mm-hmm. And I know from watching him, he went down, and I would assume he goes left, but I don't know. So I call my father-in-law, tell him what happened. He's like, we'll come back to the house, get some food, and then I'll help you go out there. So we do that. He helps me. We go down to the swamp. He pulls a walking stick out of the swamp. He's walking with it. He tells me, hey, before we cross this marsh, he's got big, tall rubber boots on. He goes, I'll go this way on the marsh. I'll stay on the wet side. You take the Kubota, go down to the bottom farm, stay on the dry side, and we'll walk together. Cool. Okay. Sounds good. I get to the bottom and he goes, something, something. He's far enough away. I can't hear him. Something, something. I'm an idiot. Stick. And I was like, what? And he disappears in the marsh, comes back out. And I'm like, what? What happened? He's like, the stick. And I go, what about it? And he's like, and he turns it and it was covered in blood. And I go,
oh.
I was like, when did you pick that up? He's like, right when I told you to get the Kubota. I was using it as a walking stick. I was like, what? And you didn't notice there was blood all over it?
You didn't notice there was blood.
So there's blood, and now I'm like going, I don't know, man. That looks like muscle blood, kind of. Like that doesn't look as light as the snow stuff. Like, not really sure what that's about. So we go a little bit more. We get on buck track, and then I go back on the cameras because we're heading towards the camera on a scrape line. And I'm like, nope, there's another buck not too long ago that came through here. I think we're off track. Without any blood or anything to go off of, I'm like, dude, it's 2:30. Like, I'm just gonna have to scrap it, like, and come check him tomorrow because I don't know. I think for as far as we went, there's no way it was a viable shot. So I think he's fine. He's just out cruising looking for does or something, and he's just like, it's just a bad no man's land whiff, basically.
Right.
So we go back to the barn. I drop him off. He gets in his truck. He leaves, and I'm sitting in the barn, and I'm like, I've got 5 minutes to make a decision. Do I go out and sit, or do I just call it? Like, dude, you're done. Your season's done. You're done. Just be done. It's just getting ridiculous, basically, at this point. And that's right. And I feel like a lot of people have that with whitetail because it starts getting in your head, especially as you start getting through November, and you're like, what is going on?
It's a grind. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like starting to get. The nastier, the better for whitetail, but that's the weather. It's like starting to get in your head. So I'm like, I texted Stu. I'm like, I don't know where I should go. My father-in-law was like, dude, take the decoy, set up in the field, rattle, like do the thing. And I'm like, I don't think so, man. And then Stu was like, well, your target buck was down in the lower. You could go sit the swamp line and see maybe he'll loop back around. I'm like, that's not a bad idea. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go sit where I set that saddle up for tonight, specifically for tonight.
Oh, right. Yeah,
I'm going to break it down. And then I could just be done. I'll just take a break. It's just been crazy. So I get in there, I get set up. I'm a little bit behind schedule, but I get set up. And then when was it? Probably like 4 o'clock. I saw like on the other side of the river, a little 6-point, and he was chasing two doe at like full speed sprint across they had this nice green field over there. And this little forky on my side of the river came up, was walking, and he could see them, and he was watching them, and I was watching him watching them, and I was just like delirious at this point. It's snowing again. I'm like, this is awful, And I hear leaves. I've been hearing leaves behind me the whole sit, and there's this tree that was like right to my backside shoulder, and it had these leaves from the storm caught in it. And so anytime the wind would blow, you would just hear it. It would sound like shh, 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 but nothing was there. So I got sick of looking over my shoulder 100 times.
It's teasing you.
I hear it, and I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking like, yeah, it's the leaves in the tree. And it gets closer, and I'm like, I should probably look at that. So I look, and I see rack on top of me, like within 20 on top of me, right on my lower, down below my right side shoulder. And so I go, oh my God. I didn't even have time to so I grab my bows on the left side, grab my bow, looking at the deer's head's down sniffing.
Perfect.
I'm looking on, and I think it's Max. I think it's the target buck I'm after. He's got the same swoopy manes. I'm like, oh, it's Max. This is insane. This is like divine intervention. So I pull the bow, lift it over my bridge. If he doesn't see that, I'm drawn. He didn't see that. I draw. I know he's inside of 20. No doubt about it. He ended up being 17 yards. Stop him, quartering away, and just absolutely 10-ring this thing. Hung the bow, and out loud was like, I just shot the biggest buck. He's done. Like, he's done. This is crazy. Knew he was dead. Like, couldn't have been more sure about that shot for anything. Hang the bow, call Stu. Then my legs start shaking. Yeah. My feet are shaking. My legs are shaking. I'm like, I think I just shot Max. Like, this is insane. He's like, what? He's like, go down, check your arrow right now. He's like, break your set down, check your arrow. Let me know, like, what's up. So I did. And it was all lung blood. The bubbles, the air bubbles from the lungs froze in the snow. It was so sick. I'll send you the picture.
Oh man, that'd be
So sick. And there was blood. What was crazy was there was like a good amount of blood at impact. And I was like, that's weird. Like not like a speck, like decent, like you popped a balloon kind of. And I'm like,
yeah.
That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. So I'm like, interesting. But I didn't think anything of it outside of that seems kind of weird. So I called my father-in-law. I'm like, hey man, I think I just shot Max. And now he's like,
what?
He goes, no, he goes, he's probably so sick and tired of me, dude, that day. He's like, did you see the deer go down? And I'm like,
I'm not coming out there again.
I go, no, because he dropped down the road and I can't see down. I go, I'm telling you, I said, gun to my head, that deer's dead.
Yeah.
He goes, I'll be right there. And so I get in the Kubota and I go pick him up at the barn. He's there by the time I get there. Turn around, driving back down, and he's like, take me to the deer, but I think he meant take me to the blood. And I go, I'll just take you to the deer. And we passed where I shot him, and I turned the corner. So I went down the hill and just turned the corner. Dude, it couldn't have been 40 yards. This monster was in the middle of the road, face down in the middle of the road. Like he ate it. The second he went down the hill, he ate it. And there was blood everywhere, like already coagulated blood, which I also thought was kind of weird. And I'm like, this has happened like 10 minutes ago. Like, this is crazy. So I walk up to the deer and I go, that's not Max. And her dad goes, yeah, that's not Max. And I go, and I look and I go, and there's 2 holes on this right side. And then I get behind the deer to take pictures and there's 2 holes on his left side. And I turn the deer to face me and I go, and he goes, what? And he has this kicker off his G2. And I go, this is the deer I shot 8 hours ago, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he goes, are you kidding me? I go, yeah. I go, look. And I showed him, I go, look at this first shot. It was slight quarter towards, super high. I go, and this is my shot. And he goes, wow. And I was like, dude, that was like an act of mercy from God.
Yeah.
Because this thing,
holy cow.
He had been searching for does that whole day, and I caught him on the back end of his loop 8 hours later. He was heading back to the thistle field that he came from 8 hours before.
You will never do that again.
No.
There's no way.
No. 8 hours of separation, dude.
Crazy.
Almost to the minute. Oh, and by the way, completely different. I was nowhere near where I hit him the first time. I was a completely different section of the farm.
If that doesn't tell you like their will to live and like ability to survive, it's just incredible. Like,
yeah, he was moving, and he wasn't like he was moving at a good clip. Like I said, from first sound to, oh my gosh, I need to check that out, to him being on top of me, to him being in front of me at the only window I had was, I mean, it was seconds.
So you're thinking that some of the blood that you saw that was already like coagulated was from your first shot?
Yeah, so that's what it was the top of his offside lung got clipped. And it took that whole probably the whole dang day to fill up from gravity down up to tip over, and he just popped. I mean, that's what it was. He was trying to get does. He was moving. He was that was his mission. And he's so cool, man. He's a cool old buck.
That's amazing.
Just a beautiful typical.
That might be the most incredible story I've ever heard.
It's insane, dude. I didn't even like, I don't know if it was just like the excitement of everything, but like I did not realize until I put my hands on the deer and looked that it was not, one, it wasn't the deer that I thought, and two, that the deer had 4 holes in it.
Wow.
Insane.
That's amazing.
Right? Craziness. So obviously got none of that on film.
I was going to say, did you film it?
Yeah. And that's what me and Stuart are talking about is like, the plan to bookend those 2 stories together to put that together.
Oh man, that would be, yeah, I can't do anything about it now, but wow, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Insane. And then it's like I said, dude, we got to him and it just started dumping snow again. It was insane. So that picture is, I can't remember when we took the picture, probably 5:30. It's starting to get dark. You can tell it's kind of grainy. It's dark. Mm-hmm. And the snow's coming down. I mean, we barely got a picture of him. It was insane.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you're done now.
So I'm done.
You got some
I'm basically
dope
done. I think I might. I think I'm trying to remember how many nuisance landowner nuisance tags we have, but I might do a like a rifle doe hunt or something with my father-in-law, or at least sit it and see. But I am done as far as like my own tags.
Yeah. And how many does do you have to take off the farm?
I think he said like 7's like their magic number. So
7. Holy cow.
Yeah, or at least that's what he had been doing year over year, because it's and I think it's a good thing we have does, but like it's not great for some of the early season food and crop and stuff. It gets mowed down, it doesn't get to maturate, and so and that is combined result of me and him not doing that, basically, not like taking the time and hunting the does like we should, because he always was very adamant about it. Before, like even before he got me into it and stuff. So
that's wild. That's even more wild for like me and guys that live up here, because like we get one tag.
Oh, like, no kidding.
You might be able to get a second one. Sometimes some areas they'll release a second tag.
Yeah.
But you'll get a buck every year. Well, you get a buck tag every year, and then there's a lottery for the does.
No kidding.
And you can use your doe tag for a buck if you want, but usually that's it. So some guys can get a second one, but to hear you like you're shooting a couple of bucks, you have the ability to shoot 7 does, and you're like, no, that would not.
Yeah. Well, I can't. I mean, I can't shoot all 7, but yeah, we
no. But like, yeah, collectively, and farmers here will get, they'll get landowner tags,
and that's
stuff,
it.
But
yeah, and the land is titled under conservancy, so there's things even with that to maintain the like ecological value of the land and all that. But there's some counties that are like 4-deer counties where you get 1 buck, but you can get 3 doe on top of that each year.
Yeah.
We're just a 3-deer county straight regular tag.
That's amazing.
But yeah, it is. It's good. I mean,
okay, you have to help me settle something, because every time I talk about this, I get into an argument. No, I'm not going to argue with you, but last night we got into a bit of an argument. When you're in the tree, are you taking your quiver off your bow?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Well, for whitetail, I always did. I never hunted with my quiver on my bow until I started doing Western stuff. Once I did the Western stuff, I could take it or leave it. I could totally leave it on. I rebalanced my bow and changed my stabilizer angle, my rear stabilizer angle, to knowing that I'm not going to have my quiver on for whitetail. But for my Western stuff, I'm shooting, all my groups 100 yards and in are all with the quiver on, and I like it. I don't mind it. The other reason was all the quivers that I had up until my V3X were just awful quivers, awful quivers. And they stuck out really far, and they really weighted down the backside. So their quiver, that I still think this is the best quiver ever made. It's super, super tight. I mean, it's even cut here for the limb to wrap around that.
Oh, wow.
I could shoot.
Jesus.
Yeah. 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 Your limb will come up right to that and bend around that.
Holy.
It's pretty legit and goes on and off very easy. Not a lot of noise. So I don't mind it. But there's times where I'll have the quiver on for whitetail and I don't know to take it off, or I don't like these. My one gripe is there's no
nothing to hang it onto.
Nope.
So my whole thing, I don't understand why it's such a popular thing, because I feel like you're now setting yourself up in a situation where that could fall down.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, and if you say you needed a follow-up shot, maybe for something,
the follow-up shot,
it's on your bow. It's right there. Just grab it.
I like having it for follow. If you need a follow-up shot and you can get a follow-up shot in, and that's why I won't ever play with that with Western stuff. And I know there's professionals that will tie it to their hip.
Yes. I'm like, what are you doing? Just leave
I'm
it
like,
on the
just
bow.
don't even have it. So I'm with you on that. And I can honestly, if you were like, no, you have to shoot it out of the tree with your quick, I wouldn't even fight you on it. But there's a lot of guys that they just can't, they do not want to do it.
Yeah. It's like, no way.
If it's a big bulky quiver, I could kind of see it. But yeah, the Western stuff has gotten me way more used to using it that I wouldn't have an issue with it. I do it honestly, whitetails just out of habit.
Out of habit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting so close to the bow now, you almost like you don't even feel that they're there.
No.
Yeah.
And if the bow's super light, it kind of helps with that a little bit of weight too.
Have you toyed with the new X10s? 3.2 millimeters? They made them even smaller.
No. So I guess those are like
they're more target, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I have not.
Yeah.
I shot that elk. I shot with a Pro Comp, which was the predecessor to that X10 Parallel Pro, and even that did some weird stuff.
Yeah.
That Easton Engineering was aware of at the time, but was shot the elk. I mean, the elk wasn't less dead or anything, but the arrow, the carbon and the aluminum like accordioned, so it must have exploded somewhere in the animal at some point, and it.
Oh wow!
And I still have it. It's in the basement somewhere. I'll show it to you.
Like a slinky.
Yep. And it just boom blew up, and I was like, I'm not probably ever gonna hunt with those again. But again, who knows? A lot can happen. That bow is generating a lot of K-force.
Yeah.
So who knows? I don't know, but it was. You don't want that, because if I would have lost that bull on that, I would have been ticked. But for a target, oh my gosh, for a target or like a even tack, if you're trying to be really precise, those arrows are insane.
It was the 5.0s you were using otherwise?
Yeah, pretty much primarily was a 5.0, 50 grains of brass and a halo knock kind of guy. There's so many options out there for like, just like everything for a good arrow. Like even the HLRs are supposed to be insane. They have a new VLR now. I mean, there's the UltraView arrow. Which is that 1K weave. I do like that too. I mean, there's so many good stuff that you can choose from. It's tough.
Yeah, I think Ultra came out with like the Phantom, which is supposed to be.
Oh yeah,
that's supposed to be something good too. Like there's so much.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
wild, crazy.
But yeah, the 5.0s have been good to me. They're good weight.
Yeah, I love them. Awesome.
Heck yeah, man.
That is amazing story.
That's why I text you. I'm like, dude, I got a story for you.
Yeah. No, like obviously he face planted. He had like 4 holes in him at this point. Right? Like,
yeah, he was probably
just give up. Just
I mean, both that second shot just obliterated his lungs, and it was like, that's why I was like, this just seems like a lot of blood on impact. Like a lot of blood on impact.
It's all the work you did earlier in the day.
It made sense. Yeah, it made sense later. Because I'm like, oh my god, like it hasn't been like if it was long or something, I would have, that was indicative of much longer time that I had let that deer like bleed out, and it was not that long. But yeah, awesome deer. That will be my first shoulder mount that I've ever done.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't going to just show you how much I don't know about whitetail still. I just like, that's a good book. Like, and my father-in-law's like, you have to do it. He's like, the story alone, but he's an 8. And I mean, I didn't tape him out. If Stu was here, he would have taped him out. That buck's probably a sub 158. He's a great 8, good typical. He'll be good. I might have a hard time finding an 8 of that age.
Yeah.
And the taxidermist lady was telling me, I didn't know this either. You probably know all about this. And Stu did too, but they kind of go through and they show you like the little tufts of hair, and they like lift them up so that like, oh, he's got a notch in his ear that's going to be tan that way, just so you know, like we didn't mess it up. And I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah.
But she was showing me like he had all these like, and I didn't notice it when I brought him in, but when she showed him to me, it was very easy to see, like, his coloring, it was like darker in certain spots. But if you lifted the hair up, there was like all these scars that this buck had from fighting over the years, which was really cool.
Wow.
And the one that was like right here, it was like good 3 inches or something. Was like bleeding, like it was like fresh. Yeah, and she's like, he must have been a pretty aggressive deer. I'm like, I don't have any history with him on the farm. He came running into my growl.
He was in attack mode.
It was nuts, dude. I was like, what? I was pretty high up and I didn't feel high enough up. I was like, this thing's gonna.
Did you keep the rest of the hide just in case you tan the rest of it and then someone says, no way, you shot him 4 times? I'm like, look.
Oh, dude, I didn't even think. I do have pictures. I have pictures.
Doesn't matter what people think, but yeah, that's funny.
I got pictures of the bad shot and you can see the good shot underneath it. That's on both sides. When I had him hanging, I took him because he was all stretched out and you could see everything.
That'd be wicked.
You know what's really funny? Even that top shot, it was like pink. You could see the pink from the wound. When he was walking in, I could see it. I'm like, and so I told my father-in-law when I picked him up, I go, and mind you, I think this is Max. I think it's a different deer. And I go,
right.
I said, I think some asshole shot this deer already. And he goes,
so much trespassing on her property.
Yeah. And he goes, no, he probably got gored or something. I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. But even then it didn't occur to me to be like, dude, that's probably the deer.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's such a small fraction of a possibility of that happening that there's no way. And then
it wasn't even close to where you were at the beginning of the day.
No, so how he did it was he had almost made it almost all the way back around to the far, what is that, northwest edge of the thistle field where I picked him up on the northeast edge of that thistle field. And he was then shot again over in the northwest corner of the property, basically.
Wow.
So he had made a big loop.
Miles. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's wicked.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for coming on and telling us that.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let everybody know how they can find you and Stu and everything you guys do.
Yeah, so Stu's at SG Holmes and Instagram and YouTube, and I'm Joe Goubeaux on Instagram and YouTube, spelled all crazy.
And you have a company now together?
Yeah, we don't have a page or anything we have a website, but it's the Zero Media Collective is and I can send you that.
Nice.
The link. Yeah.
Awesome.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks, dude.
That's a fucking hell of a story.
No, I still can't believe it. It's wild.
Oh, did you talk to Dave about his moose?
No, I haven't got to talk to him. He hit me up on the moose briefly, and he also sent me a voice note on the buck.
He shot. Well, I'll let him tell you, but
yeah, because we haven't got to connect.
Fucking cranker of a deer.
Nuts.
Like just wild. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm pumped to hear about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming on again. I appreciate it. And we'll circle back again at some point. I got to get Stu on here to tell his story because he's got a few to tell. So
heck yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
Awesome, man. Thanks.